What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name doesn't matter. What matters is that we are deep in the 2026 LEGO Star Wars calendar, and there are a lot of sets out there right now. Like, a genuinely overwhelming number. We've got MIDI-scale ships, smart play stuff, busts, mechs, brick heads, AUCS, movie tie-ins, you name it. So, today we are doing a full tier list. S, A, B, C, and D. Every single confirmed 2026 LEGO Star Wars set. Ranked. No mercy. Let's go. Starting at S tier, and there is one set that is sitting up here completely unchallengeable, and that is the Venator-class attack cruiser, set 75441. I don't think I've ever seen a LEGO Star Wars set get as much unanimous praise at this price point as this one. $79, 643 pieces, and it looks absolutely stunning on a shelf. The dual bridge towers, the red Clone Wars markings, the angular shape. It's everything you want from a Venator without having to drop $400 on the UCS version. Reviewers across the board are calling it one of the best sets in the entire MIDI-scale Starship collection, which is a line that was already hitting it out of the park. Space.com called it one of their favorite Star Wars LEGO sets, full stop, in 2026. That is not a sentence that gets thrown around lightly. If you bought one set from this entire year, and you're into display pieces, it probably should have been this one. Best price per piece in the entire 2026 lineup, according to multiple reviewers. S tier, no discussion. Also in S tier, I'm putting the UCS Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter set 75442. Now I know, and believe me, we're going to talk about the price situation in a second, but hear me out. This set is genuinely beautiful. The drum-lacquered silver pieces on the front of the nose are doing real heavy lifting, and they absolutely deliver. Brothers Brick called it wizard status, which is their highest compliment, and honestly, I get it. For a ship that is essentially a long, thin gray needle, LEGO has managed to make it look incredible from every angle, including the underside, which usually gets ignored. The build techniques are innovative, it's stable for how slender it is, and the display stand lets you orient it 4 different ways. That's a flex. 1,809 pieces for $250 is a tough pill to swallow, especially coming off Jango Fett's Starship last year, which gave you nearly 3,000 pieces for $300. That price per piece ratio is genuinely hard to justify, and the silver parts are the obvious reason costs ballooned. The minifigures aren't exclusive either, which stings at this price. But look, if you're being honest with yourself, this thing looks magnificent on a shelf. The community was harsh before it launched and softened significantly once people actually held it. It reaches S tier for pure display quality, but it's the most hesitant S tier placement I've ever made. Alright, dropping down to A tier. The AT-AT MIDI scale, set 75440, goes right here. $64, 525 pieces, and it comes with a little snow speeder, with a tow cable wrapped around the walker's legs, recreating that iconic Hoth scene. The Easter egg studs for General Veers on the inside are a delightful touch that nobody asked for, but everybody loves. This is exactly the kind of set that makes the MIDI scale line worth following. It's not trying to be the massive UCSATAT. It knows what it is, it executes it brilliantly, and it looks great next to the Venator on a shelf. Multiple reviewers called it one of the best table pieces of the year, a tier comfortably. The New Republic X-Wing Starfighter, set 75460, is an A tier, but it's sitting at the bottom of it. 58 pieces of improvement over the 2021 version. A beautiful white and blue color scheme for the New Republic livery, and, genuinely exciting, Carson Teva makes his LEGO debut here as a minifigure, and people have been waiting years for that. Solid Brick Studios called it a pretty good-looking X-Wing at the $70 price point, and they're right. The S-foil mechanism works well. The issue is X-Wing fatigue. This is not the first X-Wing. It's not the second X-Wing. It's not even close to the third X-Wing. We get a new X-Wing roughly every 2 years, and at this point, some people are just done with it. The shape is a slight improvement, but not a transformation. If this was your first X-Wing, it'd be S tier. As your 4th or 5th, it's A tier. Still a very good set. Still worth picking up. The Imperial Lambda-class shuttle, set 75459, is in A tier. 961 pieces, $140, and it comes with Din Djarin, Moff Gideon, Dr. Pershing, the first ever Dr. Pershing Lego minifigure, an Imperial shuttle pilot, and a stormtrooper. 5 minifigures is a great haul. Dr. Pershing is genuinely a huge deal for fans of The Mandalorian Season 2. And the Lambda-class shuttle is just an eternally cool design that LEGO has handled well here. Flight mode and landing mode with folding wings is exactly what you expect, and it delivers. The scale feels right. This one is arriving in July, and it's going to be one of the strongest sets of the summer wave, a tier. Also in A tier, the Darth Vader bust, set 75439, 349 pieces, $49. This is the second entry in what is becoming a really strong bust format for LEGO Star Wars. The helmet bust line is working, it's compact, it looks great on a shelf, it includes a minifigure, it's accessible. If you don't want a full UCS but you want a display piece, the busts are the answer, and Vader is the obvious icon choice. Some people will argue Yoda's bust belongs here too, but I think the Vader one is slightly better executed and more striking as a display object. Yoda's bust at $34 for 399 pieces is also genuinely excellent value, and probably edges into A tier as well, if you're a Yoda person. Both solid. Vader is the cooler desk piece. Moving into B tier, BB-8, set 75452, goes here, and I feel genuinely conflicted about this. It is the first sequel trilogy LEGO set in about 5 years, and yes, that matters. The build is cool. It's to scale with the R2, D2, and C3PO models from 2025, which means if you're building out that droid collection, it is a must-buy. The internal features are a nice touch, and the nano figure of itself tucked inside is adorable. The problem is $90 for 569 pieces. That's not great. Screen Rant pointed out that the price per piece here is noticeably worse than the AT-AT or Venator launching at the same time in January. You're paying a premium for the character, essentially. If you love BB-8 or you're completing the droid trio, this is an easy purchase. But as a standalone recommendation, it's hard to put it above B tier with those numbers. Grogu Mandalorian Apprentice, set 75446, is in B tier, 1,200 pieces for $130, which is a larger buildable figure in the style of the Chewbacca and C3PO builds. The new Grogu mold is universally praised. Brothers Brick called it a clear upgrade in every way, and noted that their kids both preferred it over the original. The Mudhorn sash printing is adorable. The set looks appealing as a display piece, and its movie tie-in timing is good. Where it struggles is that at this price, people start making comparisons to the UCS sets above it, and the value question gets complicated. Still a genuinely good set, though. AT-RT Attack, set 75444, is also in B tier. The set is priced at the lower end and packs decent play value into a small package. The new Grogu mold shows up here too, which is always welcome. It's not particularly exciting, but it's a solid, inoffensive set that will make younger fans happy. Now we're in C tier, and this is where some controversial opinions start. The Razor Crest, set 75447, unfortunately lands in C tier for me, and I think a lot of the community agrees, even if they don't want to say it out loud. Brothers Brick basically said the quiet part loud in their review. 6 years ago, you got the Razor Crest with over 1,000 pieces for $130. Now you get 930 pieces for $150. 100 fewer pieces and $20 more. Inflation gets explained away, and that's fair, but the bigger problem is that the set just feels small. It's stubby, it's compressed. The proportions are off and the interior doesn't have the room it needs to feel like the real thing. Zeb Aurelios appearing as a minifigure is genuinely exciting and is basically carrying this set's reputation on his back. Colonel Ward is a new addition too, but a great minifigure lineup can only do so much when the actual ship build is underwhelming. Brothers Brick recommended waiting for a discount, and I think that's exactly right. C tier, wait for a sale. The Siege of Mandalore Battle Pack, set 75449, is in C tier. Battle packs have been in steady decline for years, and this one doesn't reverse that trend. The piece counts on battle packs have been shrinking relative to price for a long time now, and the community has noticed. It's not a bad set, but it's not a purchase I'd prioritize over everything else going on in 2026. Cobb Vanth's Speeder, set 75437, is C tier. It's a fine little set. Cobb Vanth is a cool character. But at the end of the day, it's a small speeder set that isn't pushing any boundaries, and in a year absolutely packed with more impressive releases, it gets buried. The Mandalorian and Grogu, Allies and Villains, Brickheads Multi-Pack, set 40856, goes in C tier, 661 pieces, 5 Brickheads characters including the Mandalorian, Grogu, Colonel Ward, an Imperial Remnant Snowtrooper, and an Anzellan. $40. The value per character is fine. The problem is Brickheads as a format has been fighting for relevance for years. And while this one packs in more figures than usual, the ceiling of what a Brickheads set can achieve is well understood at this point. If you love Brickheads, you'll enjoy this. Most people buying LEGO Star Wars sets in 2026 are not Brickheads first buyers. The Anzellan Starship, set 75445, is borderline C tier. It's packed with character, and the play value is there, but the Anzellans are a very niche corner of the Star Wars universe to be building a whole set around, and the ship itself doesn't have the iconic pull to demand attention in a crowded year. Now we reach D tier, and I have a lot to say here. Because not only are mechs in D tier, every single Smart Play set is in D tier too, and I'm prepared to die on this hill. Let me explain my Smart Play problem. The Throne Room Duel and A-Wing, set 75427, 962 pieces, $160. That is a lot of money for a set, where half the value proposition is locked behind batteries and Bluetooth and whatever proprietary electronics LEGO has crammed into the bricks. The Imperial March playing when you put Palpatine on his throne sounds cool in a YouTube review. In reality, you've paid a significant premium for a gimmick that will stop working the moment the battery dies. The firmware goes unsupported, or LEGO pulls the plug on whatever app or system backs this up. Remember LEGO Dimensions? Remember LEGO Boost? Remember every single LEGO tech ecosystem they have ever launched and then quietly abandoned? I do. D tier. Darth Vader's tie, Fighter Smart Play, set 75421, 473 pieces, $69. Vader's breathing sounds activating when you move him is admittedly kind of funny the first time. The second time. By the 20th time your kid has triggered it, the novelty is completely gone, and you're left with a $69 set that is built around a feature nobody asked for. The Rebel Outpost and Imperial Fueling Station accessories are thin. The whole thing feels like a proof of concept that shouldn't have been sold at retail price. D tier. Luke's Red 5 X-Wing Smart Play, set 75423, 584 pieces, $99, 5 minifigures. This one hurts the most, because the bones of this set are legitimately good. 5 minifigures, an Imperial turret, a transporter, a command center. If this was a normal X-Wing set at this price, it would probably be A tier. But instead, LEGO has taken a great set and encased it in an electronics ecosystem with unknown longevity, unknown battery life, and unknown support lifetime. Collectors are not happy. Display builders are not happy. And anyone who has watched a LEGO tech line get discontinued is absolutely not happy. You are paying a premium to be a beta tester for Smart Play. D tier, and the Smart Play compatible sets. Luke Skywalker's Land Speeder, 75420, Yoda's Hut on Dagobah, 75422, Mos Eisley Cantina, 75425, and the Ewok Village ATST variant. These are somehow even worse because they don't even include the Smart Brick. They are designed around an ecosystem feature that you have to buy separately to even use. The Mos Eisley Cantina is one of the most iconic locations in all of Star Wars. It deserves a proper set, not to be sold as a Smart Play accessory. Straight to D tier, all of them. Now, I'm going to say something that LEGO Star Wars fans have been saying for years, regardless of Smart Play. Star Wars mechs should not exist. The Clone Shock Trooper mech, set 75448, is D tier. It was D tier before it launched. Every single Star Wars mech LEGO has ever made is D tier by default. These things make no sense in the Star Wars universe. They look ridiculous. And they exist purely because mechs are cheap to design and produce. Lego Star Wars mechs are the bargain bin filler that pads out a wave, and everybody knows it. If you bought this set, I'm not judging you personally, but the set itself has no defense in this tier list. Grogu's Homestead, set 75443, is D tier, and this is one that some people are going to push back on. I get it. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie is a huge deal, and this set is directly tied to it. But a small playset themed around a homestead at this price point, with these piece counts, in a year where the Venator exists and the UCS N1 exists and the Razor Crest exists, just doesn't compete. The presentation is underwhelming. The build is thin. It feels like a set that was greenlit because the movie needed a certain number of supporting sets across all price points, not because someone had a genuinely great design to build. If you're a completionist for the Mandalorian and Grogu wave, sure. Otherwise, skip it. The Mandalorian and Grogu speeder bike, set 75436, is also D tier. Speeder bike sets are the most recycled concept in LEGO Star Wars history. This is not the first. It will not be the last. The only thing making this one marginally interesting is the movie tie-in context, but even that can't elevate what is ultimately just another small speeder bike set in a line that has had dozens of them. And honestly, the summer sets that we know less about. The Sentry Droid at 75462. The Advent Calendar at 75456. These are wild cards, but the Sentry Droid is preemptively sitting at C tier until we see more. A $50 mech-adjacent character set does not fill me with confidence based on recent history. The Advent Calendar is always B tier by default because it's a fun seasonal tradition that people enjoy, regardless of the contents. Now, there are some sets we haven't been able to fully rank because they're either summer releases or confirmed but not yet detailed enough. The Imperial Remnant. TRT Driver. Helmet at set 7545. 8 looks like it belongs in B or A tier based on what the helmet line has done before. The Boba Fett buildable figure rumored for set 75455 with 1,544 pieces could potentially be A tier if the build quality matches what we've seen with Chewbacca and C-3PO. And the elephant in the room, the UCS Executor Superstar Destroyer, rumored at 6,130 pieces. If that actually drops in 2026, it goes straight to S tier. No conversation, instant purchase, immediate 5-star review. I don't care what it costs. So, to recap the full tier list. S tier, Venator class attack cruiser, and UCS Mandalorian's N1 starfighter. A tier, AT-AT MIDI scale, New Republic X-Wing, Imperial Lambda class shuttle, Darth Vader bust, and Yoda bust. B tier, BB-8, Grogu Mandalorian apprentice and a TRT attack. C tier, the Razor Crest, Siege of Mandalore battle pack, Cobb Vanth speeder, Mandalorian and Grogu Brickheads multi-pack, and the Anzellan starship. D tier, every single smart play set, Throne Room, Duel and A-Wing, Luke's Red 5, X-Wing, Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, Luke's Land Speeder, Yoda's Hut, Maz Eisley Cantina, the Ewok Village ATST variant, plus the Clone Shock Trooper mech, Grogu's Homestead, and the Mandalorian and Grogu speeder bike. Overall, 2026 is a genuinely strong year if you stay in the top half of this list. The MIDI-scale Starship Collection continues to be one of the best things LEGO has done for Star Wars collectors in years. The busts are a great accessible format, and the UCS N1 is a beautiful set even if the price hurts. Smart Play is a complete and total skip until LEGO proves this ecosystem has actual staying power, and I will not be changing that opinion. And please, LEGO, no more mechs. That's it for today. Drop your tier list in the comments because I know half of you are going to put the Razor Crest in a tier, and I genuinely want to hear you defend it. Subscribe if you're new, like if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. This is the way.